Hello everyone. In this video today we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Washington Post published on May 18th, written by 4 people, which is why I'm going to have to scroll down here because I'm not going to remember. I tried, but not going to happen. These 4 people off the top of my head. We got an article here by Robert Costa, Carol D. Leonnig, Tom Hamburger, and Devlin Barrett. Now, why would it take 4 people to write this article? It's kind of funny that you need 4 people to write this propagandist piece of shit that is trying to cover for the fact that the FBI actually and factually had an asset in the Trump campaign, as in they had put a fucking spy in there. What does that tell you? I mean, when they'll do that, that goes to show that things are pretty fucking bad. When they're going to try to spin this. Not only is it bad that they did that, but they're going to try to spin it after the fact. They get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And they're, oh, no, I wasn't doing nothing. No. I mean, it's ridiculous. Secret FBI source for Russia investigation met with 3 Trump advisors during the campaign. So let's see what these 4 fuckwits have to say. In mid-July 2016, a retired American professor approached an advisor to Donald Trump's presidential campaign at a symposium about the White House race held at a British university. The professor took the opportunity to strike up a conversation with Carter Page, whom Trump had named a few months earlier as a foreign policy advisor. But the professor was more than an academic interested in American politics. He was a longtime U.S. intelligence source, and at some point in 2016, he began working as a secret informant for the FBI as it investigated Russia's interference in the campaign, according to people familiar with his activities. Oh, so it was just a convenient coincidence that he just happened to talk to Carter Page, and then he becomes an sure. This was set up from the get-go. What are you talking about? It's clear it was. And there was no, which you got to understand. They're pulling the whole Russia thing out of their ass. This whole, like, it wasn't interference in the campaign. I love that. Russian collusion. It was originally collusion. Now it's interference. If they were interfering in the Trump campaign, that would have meant Hillary fucking Clinton would have won. So, not exactly your best choice of words saying interference in the campaign. The role played by the source is now at the center of a battle that has pitted President Trump against his own Justice Department and fueled the president's attack on special counsel's investigation. Which, you're referring to the president as as the person. It's a proper noun. It should be capitalized. If it was Obama, you fucking assholes would have capitalized it. You sure as shit would have capitalized it. And the funny thing is the role that he played. No, it's the fact that he was there in the first place is what's causing this whole situation. And it's not fueled by the president's attacks on special counsel's investigation. Oh my God. This is such propagandistic bullshit. It's not even funny. In a Thursday tweet, he called the probe a disgusting, illegal, and unwarranted witch hunt, which is true. In recent days, Trump and his allies have escalated their claims that the FBI source improperly spied on the campaign. Because, oh, maybe he fucking did? Holy shit. I know Bezos has got a bug up his ass with Trump. And banked on Hillary becoming, the president, his girl there, but enough is enough already here. Reports are there was indeed at least one FBI representative implanted for political purposes into my campaign for president, he tweeted Friday. It took place very early on and long before the phony Russia hoax became a hot fake news story. If true, all-time biggest political scandal. Exactly. I mean, the whole thing is the whole Russia thing. With Obama's involvement, with Hillary's involvement, with the FBI's involvement, with the Justice Department involvement, all of this makes Watergate look like a fucking joke. At this point, it kind of is a joke in comparison. There is no evidence to suggest someone was planted with the campaign. The source in question engaged in a months-long pattern of seeking out and meeting 3 different Trump campaign officials. Wait a minute. There's no evidence there was someone planted in the campaign. Yet, this asset conveniently strolls up and weasels his way in, and there's absolutely no evidence. Okay, sure, right. The Washington Post, after speaking with people familiar with this role, has confirmed the identity of the FBI source who assisted the investigation, but is not reporting his name following warnings from U.S. intelligence officials that exposing him could endanger him or his contacts. Oh, bullshit. Bullshit. The only reason why you don't want to out who the guy is, okay, has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact of, if he gets outed, your little freaking scam of, like, trying to claim that, oh, this is normal. I mean, and that this, oh yeah, this wasn't planned. He just happened to be there. Falls apart. Oh my God. The source declined multiple requests for comment. An FBI spokeswoman declined to comment. Page was one of 3 Trump advisors whom the FBI informant contacted in the summer and fall of 2016 for brief talks and meetings that largely centered on foreign policy, according to people familiar with the encounters. Sure. Conveniently, he just talked. Yeah, alright. One of 3 advisors that he conveniently just called. There has been some speculation that he might have tried to reel me in. Page, who had numerous encounters with the informant, told the Post in an interview. At the time, I never had any such impression. Yeah, because he's a oh my God. Because he's a fucking informant. Their jobs are to do that type of shit. Get in there and not have you feel like you're like getting reeled in and giving up your shit. In late summer, the professor met with Trump campaign co-chairman Sam Clovis for coffee in Northern Virginia, offering to provide foreign policy expertise to the Trump effort. Yes, because he was trying to weasel his way in more, so that, oh my God. He's trying, all right, he's an asset. They try to work their way in, move their way up. Thank you for putting it out there that he was doing just that. In September, he reached out to George Papadopoulos, an unpaid foreign policy advisor for the campaign, inviting him to London to work on a research paper. Oh, well, of course, yeah, that way he can get in with Papadopoulos. This is exactly what he was trying to do. And yet the Washington Post is giving you this information, yet they're trying to make you think, oh, no, it just had nothing to do with it. Oh, no. He wasn't planted by the FBI, but yet he was doing all of these things, which show that he was. Actions speak louder than words. Many questions about the informant's role in the Russia investigation remain unanswered. It is unclear how he first became involved in the case, the extent of the information he provided, and the actions he took to obtain intelligence for the FBI. It is also unknown whether his July 2016 interaction with Page was brokered by the FBI or another intelligence agency. Well, of course it was. Why the fuck would he reach out in the blue? Out of the blue. Reach out. Why would he reach out of the blue like that? Try getting in touch with these key people if he wasn't on the take. You have to be a moron to believe that he was doing it for some other reason. Clearly, he was working for the FBI or some other, alphabet agency in the U.S. The FBI commonly uses sources and informants to gather evidence, and its regulations allow for use of informants even before a formal investigation has been opened. In many law enforcement investigations, the use of sources and informants precedes more invasive techniques such as electronic surveillance. Well, yeah, because if you can slip a rat in, shit, they can find out anything you can go after them with. Which is what they hoped. It was a witch hunt. That's exactly what it was. They were hoping that this fucking idiot would find something that they could use against Trump. It didn't happen. So, now they try to use him for the whole Russia bullshit. Earlier this month, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes issued a subpoena to the Justice Department for all documents related to the FBI informant. Justice Department officials have declined to provide the information, warning that exposing him could have severe consequences. You don't get to say, fuck you, I'm not doing it when you're subpoenaed. You don't get to do that. They subpoenaed the information. You have to turn it over. When they don't want to turn that information over and they give a bullshit excuse like this, could have severe consequences. The severe consequences are usually their asses are going to be in a sling because they did something that they weren't supposed to do. There shouldn't be an issue to turn this information over. None whatsoever. In a May 2nd meeting, senior FBI and national intelligence officials warned the White House that information being sought by Nunes risked the source's safety and that of his sources could damage U.S. relationships with its intelligence partner. That's desperation for you. Because, I mean, when you're saying... when the FBI and intelligence officials are saying that the White House... warn the White House that if you dig into this, it could, or Nunes, it could risk the safety of this guy and could damage U.S. relationships. That's so sweeping and generalized. It's bullshit. It's not about damaging U.S. relationships with intelligence partners. It's not about the source's safety. It's about their illegal activity, what they did with this guy. The stakes are so high that the FBI has been working over the past 2 weeks to mitigate the potential damage if the source's identity were revealed, according to several people familiar with the matter. I love how the Washington Post, it's all anonymous sources. They flat out say they're anonymous or it's people familiar with the matter. You never produce an actual quote from an actual person who has a fucking clue, and yet you're supposedly credible news, Washington Post? Excuse me? The Bureau took steps to protect other live investigations that he has worked on and sought to lessen any danger to his associates if his identity became known, said these people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the sensitive intelligence operations. Another fucking anonymous source. How many fucking anonymous sources do you have at the Washington Post? Oh, that's right. You have no actual sources. You make shit up. And then you go, anonymous source, anonymous source, anonymous source. Produce your fucking sources already. This is getting to be such ridiculous shit. For years, the professor has provided information to the FBI and the CIA, according to people familiar with the matter. He aided the Russia investigation both before and after Special Counsel Robert S. Mueller III's appointment on May 2017, according to people with knowledge of his activity. You mean the proven bullshit Russian investigation? So that means that basically he was an asset put there to try to create this, and he failed. So is this guy even American? Can we charge him with fucking treason? How about espionage? How about something like that? I mean, if he's foreign. Let's hang this fucker. Once CIA, always CIA. Try him. Let's see all the evidence. Put it out there. And if he did something illegal, to the scope of what we're talking about here, which if he's American would be treason, hanging is still good for that. If he did it, hang him. I think every one of the motherfuckers involved in this Russia bullshit, this scam, should be, at the end of at the end of a rope, in front of a firing squad, or spending a large chunk of, if not the rest of their lives, in prison. What they tried to do was literally a coup, which was literally treason. And they're still trying to cover up for this fact, when these people should be tried and be going to prison for their crimes at this point. Exactly when the professor began working on the case is unknown. Oh my God. The FBI formally opened its counterintelligence investigation into Russia's efforts to influence the 2016 campaign on July 31st, 2016, spurred by a report from Australian officials that Papadopoulos boasted to an Australian diplomat of knowing that Russia had damaging material about Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. Ah, bullshit. And if anything, talking smack is fucking talking smack. And what if a Russian official mentioned it to him? It's not like he's conspiring with them. Oh yeah, I was told by so-and-so, yeah. They could have some real damaging shit on Hillary. That shouldn't have spawned an investigation. That does not matter. That does not meet the burden of evidence to even initiate an investigation. The professor's interaction with Trump's advisors began a few weeks before the opening of the investigation when Page met the professor at a British symposium. Conveniently met him at a British symposium. Let's be honest. Page recalled this conversation with the professor as pleasant, if not particularly memorable. It was the first interaction they ever had, he said. The conference was held days after Page had traveled to Russia, where he had delivered a speech at Moscow's New Economic School that publicly criticized U.S. foreign policy. Conveniently, right after he takes a trip to Russia, this guy just happens to show up in his life. Well, isn't that convenient? Just a little fucking convenient. Yet you here at the Washington Post are trying to claim, oh, nothing to see here. Oh, this was all above the board. Oh my God. Page had been on the FBI's radar since at least 2013 when the FBI caught 2 accused Russian spies on a wiretap discussing their attempts to recruit him. Later in 2016, Page became a surveillance target for the FBI, which suspected him of acting on behalf of the Russian government, an assertion he denies. Page has accused the government of abusing its authority by unfairly targeting him. And he's right on that. They've unfairly targeted him. They thought he would be a way in to go after Trump. The shit failed, and they've got nothing. Page and the FBI informant stayed in touch after the conference, meeting several times in the Washington area, Page said. Page said he did not recall exactly what the two men discussed. Yeah, and to me, you figure you have multiple conversations. You're not going to remember the exact details. You might remember broad strokes, and they'll probably try to use that with this whole situation of Russia, and this guy being on the take and being involved in the campaign to any level that he was. I mean, this is bullshit. You were asking me about conversations I had almost 2 years ago, he said. We had extensive discussions. We talked about a bunch of different foreign policy related topics. For me to try to remember every nuance of every conversation is impossible, and he's right in saying that. In late August 2016, the professor reached out to Clovis, asking if they could meet somewhere in the Washington area, according to Clovis's attorney, Victoria Toensing. He said he wanted to be helpful to the campaign and lend the Trump team his foreign policy experience, Toensing said. Yeah, because he's trying to weasel his way into the fucking campaign. He's on the fucking FBI and CIA take. And this isn't suspicious as all fucking hell? Come on now. Clovis, an Iowa political figure and former Air Force officer, met the source and chatted briefly with him over coffee on either August 31st or September 1st at a hotel cafe in Crystal City, she said. Most of the discussion involved him asking Clovis's views on China. Well, So it looks like they were gonna... that's interesting. So it looks like maybe if Russia didn't play out, they were thinking China. I mean, that kind of would make sense. It was 2 academics discussing China, Toensing said. Russia never came up. The professor asked Clovis if they could meet again, but Clovis was too busy with the campaign. After the election, the professor sent him a note of congratulations, Toensing said. Clovis did not view the interactions as suspicious at the time, Toensing said, but now is unsettled that the professor never mentioned his contacts with other Trump aides. Well, of course not. Yeah, he was trying to get his foot in the door. He's trying to gather information. He's a fucking asset. Of course he's not going to mention it. Days later, on September 2nd, 2016, the professor reached out to a third Trump aide, emailing Papadopoulos. People familiar with his outreach to Papadopoulos said it was done as part of the FBI's investigation. Oh, not like the rest of it was. Oh, that was just him on his own. Bullshit. The young foreign policy advisor had been on the radar of the FBI since the summer, and inside the campaign had been pushing Trump and his aides to meet with Russian officials. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. We should be trying to have good relations with every fucking nation out there, but hey, why would we want that? Please pardon my sudden intrusion just before the Labor Day weekend, the professor wrote to Papadopoulos in a message described to the Post. So you don't even have the message itself. You just have a description of it. Okay. He said he was leading a project examining relations between Turkey and the European Union. He offered to pay Papadopoulos $3,000 to write a paper about the oil fields off the coast of Turkey, Israel, and Cyprus, a topic on which you are a recognized expert. Oh my God. So the thing is how these assets get their foot in the door is they'll try one thing. Because they don't want you to think that, because if they go directly at you with the one thing that they're trying to go at you, that they want to go at, look at you with, or for, I should say. If they go directly for that, it's going to have you go, huh. But if they start here on something different and then work their way over to that, usually they can slip it past you. That's what he was trying to do. Papadopoulos accepted. While in London, he met for drinks with a woman who identified herself as the professor's assistant before meeting on September 15th with the professor at the Travelers Club, a 200-year-old private club that is a favorite of foreign diplomats stationed in London, according to the emails described to the Post. After Papadopoulos returned to the United States and sent his research document, the professor responded, "Enjoyed your paper, just what we wanted, $3,000 wired to your account. Please confirm receipt." And there they end the article. Not really accomplishing much, except trying to sling a bunch of bullshit, hope it fertilizes and flowers and they start growing, and change the whole scheme of things. But that's not going to work here. No matter how much fertilizer you throw on this, it still stinks to high heaven, because shit is shit is shit. And this is full of shit. The fact that this asset was trying to weasel his way in early goes to show you that they were trying to play the long game. This was set up from the beginning. Because I bet you they were hoping to get someone in there and they could go after him before the election. Didn't happen. They hoped to get people in there to go after him after the election. Didn't happen. They're desperate. They've been trying to get people in there to spy on the presidency, to try to gather intel and use it to twist stuff or have other leverage beyond Russia. It's disgusting. It's vile. It goes to show that these people are sore fucking losers. It's been over a year at this point. Russia's been proven bullshit. Yet, you keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. It's falling apart, and you're still trying to save your assets from being exposed because you're worried. And what gets me is while you're trying to save them, you're still trying to say, oh, Russia, Russia, Russia. When it was proven bullshit. This is beyond ridiculous at this point. You people just need to give in. And, oh wait, if you did and conceded, you'd end up in prison if you did those things. Anyway, I think I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.